So first of all, you're running for Congress. This is a new thing. Tell us why you're running.
Well, just for everybody to know, I'm one of those guys that for years have always said I would never ever be a politician. But I've had a passion for almost 30 years now for our kids, particularly those at risk. And I realized, unlike in the 80s when I first came out of NFL, that it's not just black kids, it's all our kids now at risk. So I realized about 7 or 8 months ago that if we don't get back the house and we let the leftists continue to use, abuse, and discard our young people, that we don't have a chance. So it was my opportunity to make a difference. I think we have to get the house back, and it just so happens this district is somewhere between 1 and 2 in terms of what the left needs to keep it and what we need to win it back. So for our nation, I'd like to have the values of our great state be looked at and represented in the state of in D.C. And that's what my goal is, to make sure that happens.
Right, and I do appreciate, and I think a lot of our viewers do as well, I appreciate when people who choose to run for public office are doing so out of a service-oriented mentality. They're not going there to enrich themselves. They're not going there for power. They're going there because even though they don't like politics, they didn't want to run for office, they feel that the next generation is being sold short. And I really appreciate that about you. Talk to me a little bit about your opponent. You know, like I said in the introduction, Utah's a very conservative state. We don't see a lot of Democrats getting elected in Utah. What do you think that he has done wrong, and what are you going to do differently?
Well, the only way that Democrats get elected here is by telling everybody that they're going to represent the values we have here, and they'll stand up against Pelosi and AOC. And what Ben McAdams has done, unfortunately, is held the line of the Democrats. He's not that he's a bad guy. He's just that he's given power to a very, very bad ideology. You know, Liz, I've said this before. We are fighting literally today for the heart and soul of our nation. The Judeo-Christian values that's made our country so great, and make sure every single generation gets better than the last. That's what's made us the great country we are. And we're up against now socialists and Marxists and atheists. The worst thing that can happen to our country is to give them power, because they will use, abuse, discard, and leave nothing but misery behind. So we're very excited about that. If I can just say this, for those who look and support and bring our great values to our country, Burgess for the number 4 Utah.com. It'll get you there. You can support me at that point.
Burgess for the number 4 Utah. Please go look at his website to learn more about him. And I do want to ask you, I want to make sure that our viewers get to know you. You've been on the show before. Some people are familiar with you, but tell us a little bit about who you are. You played in the NFL, you know, played in the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and then you transitioned into helping youth. What sparked that, and why did you choose to be conservative?
A great upbringing, Liz. I was fortunate. I grew up in the Deep South, Tallahassee, Florida, in the days of 60s. KKK, Jim Crow, segregation. But my community was so awesome because we believed in those 4 tenets that's made all of our country great. That's head, heart, hands, and home. Education, God, industry, and family. I grew up in a community that we believed we could be anything we wanted to be. Astronauts, marine biologists, whatever we wanted to be. We have given the tools, the confidence, and the patriotism of a country, because my dad was a World War II vet. So that was my upbringing. And what I found out is I'm here in the Salt Lake City area, and the values I grew up in are now the same values I'm fighting for. So to me, it's a piece of cake. It's easy. It's what I've been raised with. I've been proud of it. And I'm so thankful, again, for the upbringing of that last great generation. We just need to do a better job this generation to make sure our kids are protected and guided, and not let the leftists propagandize them into being socialists and Marxists.